Hi, today we will discuss about ETL. ETL, when you read data from the database. Okay, what is the goal here is ETL is a pattern that is meant to be extract, transform, load. Okay, you will realize that you always do something like this. Okay, it's what I just written there. Have you ever realized that you always extract data, then you apply some sort of transformation, and then you display it to the client one? But what you do when the client 2 come? You extract data, you transform it for him, and then you load. At some point, loading is when you display on the screen. Okay, you always do this. Okay. Keep listening. I have another point that you will realize that you're probably doing that most often of the time. How we can do ETL with today's program. Okay, you always extract data. Okay, what people is doing most of the time when they are on your application. Okay, I taken this idea from CQRS from Greg Young. They read lists, process report, schedule data. They want report of the application when they are with the manager and they want to discuss about what they will do next. Okay? Then they will consult, they will read your application thousands of times and they will do action, not swivel it. And if we look from some literature, okay, I was reading Clean Code and Clean Art from Robert J. Martin. Then I realized that he talked about this kind of situation. It's more than that, but we can find some kind of concern there. Okay, what he said in Clean Code is chapter 6 object. There's object and data structure. Okay, that's fine. He said that we can have two kind of stuff. And a little bit after he said that data and object antisymmetry, it's another part of the book, object hide their data behind abstraction and expose function to operate on that data. As data structure expose their data and have no meaningful function. Okay, from my experience, I was in C or C++ old program, then we use SQLite. What we do most of the time, then we read data from the database and we have a structure. What we do with that structure, we push them into an algorithm or some transformation and then we use the result. Okay? If you are in C#, you use probably link and you extract data, you apply some kind of transformation and you have a result. If you are in Ruby, you will use some kind of active record. But this is like a bit, where the problem is where you put your function. Okay, you load data and you put function inside your active record. Why? I don't know. Could you put your function outside and then you read data, you apply function on it, and then you produce report for the client? Okay, this is another way. If we look a bit from clean architecture, okay, from distro and structured programming, all program can be constructed from three structure: sequence, selection, and iteration. If we go a bit further in object-oriented, the next chapter, object-oriented is a combination of data and structure. He said the same thing that we just discussed in Clean Code. Okay. Next, in chapter 6, with functional programming, at the conclusion, Alan Turing, he said that the tool have changed, the hardware also, and yes, we have more tool today, more hardware, but the essence of the software remain the same. Okay, we want to display some data or save data on the database. Okay, it's always the same thing. Software is composed of sequence, selection, iteration, and direction. Okay, I will refer to you, let you go back in those books and try just read the first chapter, and you will see a lot of things that you can learn today. And finally, getting back to the paradigm conclusion of the beginning section 2 of Clean Architecture, a paradigm tells you which programming structure to use and when to use them. Okay, if I come back to my subject, which is ETL, read from the database. Most often, we will read data from the database to display it to the client. Okay? And then from that point, they will do some action that will transform the application, the data, and then we will have to reload the database, reload the data for the next action. But what are you doing mostly? You are listening video on YouTube, you are looking the weather, you are always consulting the, pages with data. But you have many options that you want to transform your page in any kind of display, but you always read data. Let's go with a simple example that I will show you that you always read. Then instead of putting your function inside your structure, you will put it outside. But this will lead you to another point. If you are in Ruby, you said that yes, you have MVC, Model View Controller, where you put those algorithms, those transformation. Okay? Ruby said that M is for a model that represents the data. But if you look closely into the guide, you will see that yes, M is not just a data, it's a set of classes. If you look in DDD, domain-driven design, it's a set of classes that allow you to represent a model that will allow you to build your application. Your controller will grab those data, will apply some kind of transformation, and then for your context, it will produce a report for your client. Okay? You can add more classes in your code. It's allowed. Thank you for watching. Hi, let's back with my example of ETL. I made just a simple example. Let's say you have a class fruit. Okay, I know I'm in Ruby. We don't need to have a base class for doing some stuff which is similar. Okay, but and then we have like some apple which have as an ID. The ID will be quite simple, and we have another fruit which is an orange. Okay, it's quite nice. We just put an ID on it. Okay, that's fine. And we want to define some kind of rebate on apple and orange. Okay, then we can have some kind of association at some point. We can have some association in that class. Okay, the point is not there, is not here. Then I have a rebate from an ID. I would have just to say, okay, this fruit is as a rebate. Okay, it's a quite simple example. Then I have to create some fruits. Okay, let's go. I create some fruits. My apple ID is apple and orange is orange. Okay, then if I try to see what is in my array, it's quite nice. I have an apple and an orange. Okay. Just a quick note here, if you are in C, you can get rid of the new because it's all managed by the list. Then you can use struct, then you save on memory. Here you create new. I don't know if in Ruby you can do the same thing, having struct, then it's copy paste, it will use the copy by default constructor and it will manage automatically the memory. But this is another story. Then I can also create some rebates. Okay, I want to put a rebate on apple. Then when I will have an apple and I want to know if I have some rebate. Okay, so let's continue. We just display that I have a rebate. Okay, so fine. I have an apple and an orange, and I have a rebate. Okay, and you know by ID I will be able to know it. But let's say my customer one wants to know which fruits has a rebate. Okay, we can use association, or if you are in microservice, you won't have association. But how you will do it? You will try to do soft join. Okay, this is when you see that you extract data from many parts, and then you have to apply some transformation on it and to reconstruct something that you will have to display to the customer. Okay, in microservice we call it soft join. I will just show you the example here. Okay, what I have to do is I have fruits and rebate. Okay, I start from my array fruit, then I have to map. I will get the ID, and I will add some metadata that it will be useful on the website to be able to control my data. Okay, instead of doing some manipulation on the other side, you can already put some known value here. Sometimes it's some metadata. You are constructing, transforming or constructing a projection of your system for the web, for the context one. Okay, this is a good way of thinking. You are doing projection. Okay, you're transforming your data in order to simplify the web page on the array. Okay, and then yes, I know you can argue that it's not it's a loop in a loop and something. Okay, yes, we won't go too far. If you have 1,000 with 1,000, maybe it's not a good choice, but you can have some performance improvement before. Okay, here it's a small example. If you stop on that, continue. Okay, look what you can do. And then after that, I will have some JSON data that I will send to my client. What it will have the ID, and if the fruit has rebate. Is the only thing I want to know. Yeah. If I run the code, yes, I have an ID apple as rebate true. Then on my web page, if I want to put something thumbs up or a symbol, it's easy. If as rebate, I put that image. If not, I put that image. Okay, I also can use this kind of extracting to select data. Okay, I want to select probably fruits that has rebate. Okay, let's go on the fly. I have not produced the example. Here we can use select. Okay, where fruit has rebate. Okay, then we can select only those. Then it will be only rebate as any. Oh, we can fruit only fruit with rebate. Okay. If I do a select is like a filter. I have my two where rebate any as this. It's like a soft join. If we run this, I hope it will work. Yes, my apple is the only one that has a rebate. Okay, it's all you will do in microservice also. And if you want, it's always like this. You extract data from the database, you apply some transformation on it, and here it's like easy. I made it in one line, but you can have a class that will do algorithm on it. Here is a basic example. And you will see, I will have another video that will show you that yes, if you have this, you see that you have a subjoin here. Yes, subjoin is costly. It takes power resources on the server. Okay, that's fine. We will go through another examples similar like this one, but using CQRS. Instead of having this kind of data to do, we will have a denormalized table that will contain all the data we need. Okay, then instead of querying the data that will take a huge amount of processing on the database, we will do it on the post. On the other side, when we write data on the database, we will manipulate data. Like I said, it's always based on the fact that you are reading page thousands of times and you are doing an action 1 out of 1,000. Okay. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.